While others missed the moment, these leaders saw the signal and made the bet. In this episode, Craig Manson, the former executive director at Canon, running the Australia Canon business, reveals the bold bet that he made to expand out of the printer business. Welcome to This Way Forward with Charlie Newark-French. Today's episode of This Way Forward is brought to you from Sydney, Australia, and I have a very interesting guest with me here today, Craig Manson. Thank you for joining us. Craig, you've run about 4 or 5 companies at this point. You're on a bunch of boards. Today we're going to be speaking about your time at Canon, I think. You were executive director at Canon, running the Australia business. We're going to find out a whole lot more about that. You know the format here today. This is about a 10 to 20 minute, maybe 15-minute conversation, all centered around a big strategic bet that you made. If you frame that bet for us, we will. I'll then ask you a bunch of questions about it. If you're up for it, let's dive in.
Yeah, great. So thanks for having me, Charlie.
Thank you for joining us.
So the strategic bet we made, it was back 15 years ago. We were very deep in the photocopier business.
Yeah, so you're at Canon.
I was at Canon, so I was running
Photoshop.
So running Canon Australia.
Yep.
B2B business.
Yep.
Photocopiers was our main source of revenue.
Yes.
And we could see the market starting to move.
Yes.
When we were running the consumer business, Canon was part of the reason that caused the Kodak moment. Yes. So we'd seen disruption firsthand because we created it.
Yes.
We could start to see not complete disruption, but we could see the slowing of a market.
Yeah. By the way, I almost called this podcast what they didn't teach you at Kodak.
Well, I've got a bit of history there, so we could talk about that another time if you like.
But go on. Kodak's a good example of not making the strategic bet. So yes, you're running.
Well, because they created the first product.
Yeah, they had
digital,
they had the technology,
and they didn't think it was going to work.
Yeah, or it was going to destroy their printing business, I'm guessing.
Canon was a film business they were worried about. Yeah. And so Canon marched in and took the digital camera market and went from a good market share to complete global dominance of around 67% market share.
Yeah.
But we move on.
Yeah.
We had to talk about photocopiers.
Yeah.
So we knew that print was slowing and it was going to continue to slow. Our customers were telling us that they were printing less. They wanted to print less.
Yes.
They were telling us that print was part of a workflow. Okay. So how work flows through an organisation, print was a component part of that.
Yes.
So we knew we were peripheral to the strategy and the needs of organisations, our customers.
Printing was part of a workflow. You used this phrase before when we were talking earlier of like it being the on-ramp or off-ramp.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so as work flows through an organisation, whether it's accounts payable, whether it's accounts receivable, whether it's how you actually do work and sign things off, how you store information, how you approve things, all of those types of things.
Yeah.
And so that work flows through an organisation.
Got it. So you're there, your customers are telling you, I want to print less, but it's a part of a workflow. And where does this take you?
Correct, because our customers are saying, and we could clearly see, that the time to automate and digitise workflow was there. So rather than print things off, sign them, pass them in a folder around an organisation, as used to happen. We even had memos back then, if you recall. If
I'm running a printer business, that's just sounding like dollars falling off of my P&L.
Yeah, there's a fear that there's a cliff heading towards you.
Yeah.
So we understood that. We also knew that with digitization and automation at that point, the photocopiers are really important because they were also scanners. And so we were like, if that's what's happening, what if we actually become experts in helping our customers automate and digitize their workflow and give them automated workflows?
Yes.
So we moved from just selling photocopiers to a business that was selling software, OCR software, workflow software. We then went into a cloud business because you've got to store it somewhere. Yes. We then went into IT managed services because of the cloud business. And then because we're automating workflow, a lot of companies use business process outsourcers. So we actually ended up becoming a BPO at the same time. So that was the transition. The big strategic bet we made was we're going to move from selling hardware to selling software workflow managed services.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask you the resistance question I like asking first. This must have hit a hell of a lot of resistance. What was the resistance? How did you get over it?
So the resistance came from everywhere.
Yeah.
It even came from customers saying,
yeah.
we don't believe you guys can do this
Yes.
to start with. And we had to prove that we could.
Yeah, you're good at building printers.
Yeah.
Why are you telling me about like other parts of my business?
So we got experts in, the software companies we partner with were fantastic. And so we worked through that. An enormous amount of resistance in our sales force.
Yes.
Because selling what we used to call feeds and speeds
yes.
In a photocopier is completely different than actually how to sell someone a solution to their workflow issues.
Yeah. Sellers will normally react to a comp change. Was that an easy one to solve, or was that like a skill set issue?
It was skill set.
Yeah.
It was comp.
Yeah.
We slowed down their sales cycle.
Got it.
Yes, we did all of those things.
Yeah.
And so we had an enormous amount of resistance.
Got it.
And we had to overcome those hurdles. And they weren't easy challenges.
Yeah.
There's a fair amount of churn.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't send me Christmas cards anymore.
Yeah.
Those types of things. But you do what you have to do. You know,
yeah.
The other point around why this is such an important bet.
Yeah.
The business in Australia had been losing tens of millions of dollars a year every year for multiple years.
Yes.
I was given the task when I came in to get it back into profitability inside 18 months.
Yes.
So we were on quite a mission.
Okay, you had to do something.
Yeah, and look, they were very exciting times. It was great fun.
Yeah.
We got quite a bit of resistance from our friends in Japan.
Yes.
The interesting thing is, at the same time, they asked me to join the global strategic planning team in Tokyo.
Yep.
So I had 2 jobs.
Yep.
And so we'd go up to Tokyo multiple times a year, and we would talk about the progress we're making in the space. And it was starting to happen around the world.
Yep.
And so it became quite an important crutch or important part of the Canon business.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of resistance from customers, employees, and like actually your board, effectively. Did you have any friends in this conversation? Like who was pounding the table and going, yes, what Craig's saying?
It was eventually the customers were very quick to go, if we believe you, this is exactly what we need.
Yeah.
And we tested that with customers continually.
Yes.
And as the leader of the business, I was always in the front testing with customers so that I could actually, solidify and defend my position when I was talking to the resistors.
Yeah.
So that was really important.
So was that you getting out there and saying, okay, so which customers are going to listen to the idea that I'm pretty damn sure I'm right on? So like picking early adopters, you might think, or was it I'm actually hearing this need from my customers?
So we were hearing it.
Okay.
We were hearing it.
Yeah.
We were early with the changes we made.
Yeah.
But we would do things like we'd get a great customer in a room, with a couple of whiteboards, 3 or 4 from their side, a couple from our side, some experts in software and services in the room as well.
Yeah.
And as the executive director, I'd sit in the room and I'd start it and I go, can you tell me, can we just draw up your value chain and where have you got choke points, where have you got challenges and what you're trying to do in the workflow of your business? What are you trying to solve for, if anything?
Yeah.
And of course they were in the room because they had things to solve for.
Yeah.
And we'd get the experts and we'd go, can you solve any of this?
Yeah.
And sometimes the answer was no.
Yep.
And we'd have a really nice lunch and see you another time.
Yeah.
But quite often it was like, actually we can solve this. And the conversation then moved to how we can solve one of your problems. Yeah. And then the teams would follow up after that. Yeah. So once that started happening, we knew we were heading in the right direction. Yeah.
Okay. So what was your customers were both your biggest resistor, but then or not biggest resistor, a resistor, and then ultimately the revenue solves everything. But ultimately, what got you across the line? What strengths were you leveraging that allowed you to play this role outside of printers? Was it brand? Was it relationships? Like, what did you have that some other startup couldn't outcompete you?
So we had we had a range of things. We did have brand.
Yes,
an incredibly powerful brand.
Very powerful. Everyone knows Canon,
and
especially those customers.
And I'd say at that time in history, a more powerful brand than today. So it was very powerful there. Yeah. We had a fair amount of respect because Canon always does things right.
Does things well.
And
you had good relationships to.
We had great relationships, and we approached it with real honesty.
Yes.
So I think that was super useful.
Yes.
The other thing we had is we had a whole lot of experts. Like we had some software partners that were true experts in the field. Yeah. And so we bought them from overseas continually to help us in what we're trying to achieve. Yeah. And we engaged really, really well. And we engaged from head to tail through both organisations.
Yeah.
And I think that was the strength of those 4 or 5 things that we did.
Yeah. Okay. So your strategic bet was to leverage your strength with brand relationships from the printer business and expand your business. How did you know you were on track? Did you have any moments of doubt? Where did this bet end? Was it successful?
So we had plenty of moments of doubt.
Yeah, tell me about some of
course.
A couple of sleepless nights, I'm sure.
Look, when you walk into the office and people are going, I think this is crazy, you sure this is what we should be doing, and can we just go back to selling photocopiers?
Yeah. I mean, part of leading is people have to follow.
Yeah,
so I'm sure that you had moments of, where is everyone?
Yeah, and there were also moments where our field force of technicians were using technology in terms of actually how we monitored, and we're doing predictive analytics on the devices as well.
Yes.
So we were laying off people at the same time. So we had both things going on for us.
Yes.
So they were really challenging times. We had a really good tight team.
Yes.
And they were, we were on a mission.
Yeah.
We really were.
Was that a team you started with, or did you bring them in?
We put the team together.
Yeah, okay.
A few people who had been in the company for a while.
Yeah.
We pulled some people from other parts of the company, brought them in, and lots of fresh thinking.
Yeah.
So that worked really, really well.
Yeah. What was the end outcome? So let's finish with that. Where did it end?
So in the outcome, we got to our stopped losing money. We started making money.
Yes.
We could reinvest.
Yes.
We could do M&A.
Yes.
We started buying organisations to actually strengthen what we were doing.
Yes.
The business, as we structured it up, is still surviving today and thriving.
Yeah.
And doing lots of really interesting different things. And so it worked incredibly well.
Awesome. Craig, thank you for the time today. That's exactly the kind of bet that we like to discuss on This Way Forward. Your bet was taking the strengths of Canon and using it to get out of the printer business. Stay in the printer business, but do more than that.
Yep.
Congratulations on your success there.
Cool. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you, Craig.
Appreciate it.
Today's episode is sponsored by PM Squared. PM Squared is a consulting firm specializing in delivering strategy execution solutions, focusing on performance measurement and management.